Hello, hello, Verblingites and Verblingistas. How are you today? I'm Teacher Oakley, and I'm back again with more IELTS. I labeled this IELTS listening. I just realized that I'm so deeply confused. This is actually going to be TOEFL listening practice. I just realized I named the Hangout IELTS listening, but oops, accident. Yes, your teachers are not infallible. Oops. Sorry, Andre. Sorry, Russell. Tiago. Hello. Hello. I'm doing well. I just, apparently I'm confused. But other than that, apparently I'm okay. Oh, boy. Anyway, for you viewers out there, this is not really actually IELTS listening. This will be TOEFL listening. IELTS listening is later today. Okay. Hello, Roy. Hi, Roy. How are you?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Welcome to the class.
Great.
I like your glasses.
Thank you.
Very stylish. Very nice.
Thanks.
Are they Oakleys?
No, they're just traditional ones.
Okay, all right. Yeah, my name is Oakley. You know, have you heard of the brand name Oakley?
Yes, I have. I have one glasses.
It's very convenient for me, Roy, because it seems like I have personally monogrammed sunglasses. Ooh. Do you know monogrammed? Do you know that word?
Haven't heard it.
Okay, here, I'll type it in the chat box. Monogrammed is when we put our name on something, okay? When your name is engraved or written on something, it's monogrammed. When we put our
in this case, the brand.
Yeah, the brand name is my name, so it's as if they're personally monogrammed, which of course they're not. And no, Tiago. Hi, Tiago. Hey, Tiago, how you doing? Oh, what happened? Where'd he go? Oh dear. And anyway, Tiago, no, I do not own the company. How I wish. If I owned the Oakley brand, I probably would not be sitting here talking to you right now. Any case, hello everyone. I've made a. Well, I didn't kick you off. I was trying to talk to you. In any case, your teacher's going slightly insane, and I named this Hangout IELTS listening. However, it's not. This will be TOEFL listening. Okay, there's a bunch of people trying to get in the class, and there's still spots here. I'm not sure what's going on. We still have a few open spots. For those of you trying to join, please download. There's a transcript of listening, which we're going to look at today. I know Russell, how you doing?
Hi, I'm fine.
Hi.
What about you?
I'm okay.
How's the morning?
How's the morning? I'm confused, but I feel good. Yeah. In any case, Russell, I know that you know this transcript by heart. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to kind of analyze the transcript. We're going to do the listening, and we're going to look at different kinds of questions and maybe talk about how to do strategy, like POE, like eliminating wrong answers. Somebody in the class, I don't know if you're standing in a windstorm or what, but a lot of static on the microphone. So Either you can mute your own microphone when you're not speaking, or which is actually very helpful. And thank you. Obviously, you did that. Okay, hello, ladies and gentlemen. All right, once again, this will be TOEFL listening. We're going to jump right in. Hopefully, everyone had a chance to download the transcript because we're going to be referring to it throughout the class. We're just going to look at one transcript and sort of look at many different questions. I'm going to say a quick hello to everyone because Andre, how are you? Hi, Andre.
Hi, Oakley. I'm doing pretty good.
All right, good. It's good to see you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, nice to have you here. Lalo. Hello, Lalo. Are you there? Do you have a microphone?
Yes. Hello.
Hello. Where are you from, Lalo?
I'm from Mexico.
Mexico. Okay.
Yes.
Nice to have you with the class. Do you have plans on taking a TOEFL class? A TOEFL
Yes.
test? Sorry. Ah, okay. Very good. Well, then you're in the right place. Hello, Martin. Again, nice to see you, Martin.
Hello, how are you? Nice to see you too.
I'm okay, thanks. Yeah, nice to have you with. Okay. Hello, Mine. Always good to see you, of course. How are you today? Mine, are you there?
Hello. Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
I can join first 30 minutes and then I will go to bed.
Okay. Your usual modus operandi.
Yeah, before the sleeping, I should listen to your voice.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if that's a that may be what we call a backhanded compliment. You guys know this? Hang on, I'm typing it in. A backhanded compliment. I'm not sure if she's happy to hear me before she goes to bed or if I'm actually putting her to sleep because I'm so boring. So we call it, because we don't know how to take it, common expression, we call that a backhanded compliment. Like, backhanded. Yeah.
No. The object is boring. The TOEFL is boring.
Yeah, true enough. You're right. It is a dry topic. Ooh, review. Okay. Just going to say a quick hi to a couple other people and we'll get started. Hi, Thomas. Are you there?
Hi. Yes, I'm here.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm doing it well. What about you?
Other than slight confusion, I'm doing pretty good. Thanks.
And why are you confused?
Actually, Thomas, I was born confused. I just hide it very well, normally. Okay. A couple more howdies. Hi, Danielle. Glad you could make it in. Danielle?
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well. It seems like everyone's microphone is working very well today. All right. Good to see you. And hi, Kevo. Hello.
Hello there. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you. I can hear you well.
I'm here.
Okay, it's a little low actually, but I can hear it's a little bit low. Kevo, where are you from?
I'm originally from France.
Mm-hmm.
But now I am living in the United States, so I kind of want to improve my English. Okay.
All right, very good. Where are you in the States?
I am in Florida, and I actually serve in the United States Navy. So that's why I want
no kidding.
Yeah.
Where are you at? Pensacola?
Indeed, Pensacola.
Is that where you are?
Yes, that's actually
good guess, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, good guess.
Yeah. I've been there before. Yeah. All right. Yes, I have. Very nice. No, I didn't. I did not serve there. I was served. I was served many beers in a local tavern.
Good one. I did not serve, I was served.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun in Pensacola. It's a fun place, actually. I kind of enjoyed it there. We were out on the island. What's the island there? There's a. Oh, geez.
Island?
Yeah, an island with a big fort on it.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, okay. Anyway, all right. Not important. All right, buckle up, kids, because here we go. What I'm going to do, first of all, we're going to listen to the recording together. All right. So, guys, if you'd like to, it may help you to have a notebook and a pen or pencil, or maybe open Microsoft Notepad, or if you're using Apple, the equivalent, and make some notes, because we're going to listen for a few minutes to an actual TOEFL lecture, such as you would be listening to on the actual TOEFL test. Then we're going to, afterwards, now you guys all have the transcript, and of course, in real life, if you were taking the TOEFL listening test, of course, you would not have the transcript. You would have to go only by your listening. So we're cheating a little bit, but we're doing that so that we can sort of look at the questions and better understand them. In any case, with no further ado, we're going to listen to this together. Go ahead and make notes if you want to, and it may help you later in the class, because I will be talking to everyone and asking you typical listening questions. Okay, so here we go. Listen up.
Track 1. Listen to a biology on an environmental issue.
There's been a lot of talk over the last few decades about greenhouse atmosphere that trap radiation from the sun so that after it passes into the atmosphere, it doesn't pass out. People are increasingly conscious of the environmental effects of their daily activities, which is a good thing. But all the publicity can be confusing too. I think writing for the general public about science is a real service, but, well, it's not nice to say, but I wish some of these people would verify things with real scientists more often. They'd save themselves some embarrassment. With that in mind, I'd like to clear up some things about that hot topic, carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. It absorbs energy from the sun. In that respect, it's like water vapor and methane, two other naturally occurring greenhouse gases. You all know that carbon dioxide is produced when we burn fossil fuels. Coal, petroleum products, natural gas, and that those fuels run a lot of the machines and manufacturing processes that drive modern life. Those are the sources that get all the public attention. But of course, we produce carbon dioxide as a waste product too. It's one of the byproducts of respiration. We breathe in air, use up some of the oxygen, and breathe out air that contains carbon dioxide. So do other animals. Because carbon dioxide is part of the natural life cycle, nature has a way of dealing with it. How does nature control the amount of carbon dioxide floating around in the atmosphere?
I thought the ocean soaked it up.
Yes, that's one way. Carbon dioxide is very soluble in water. Soluble. I don't have to explain that one to you, because the root's related to the word dissolve, right? So, carbon dioxide is pulled readily out of the air and into the water. Now, the oceans also release some of their carbon dioxide, but on balance, they absorb more. So that means that if we produce artificially more than would naturally be emitted through life processes, the ocean could, as Jason put it, soak it up. Unfortunately, if we're looking for a solution to carbon dioxide pollution, the ocean isn't it. And that's because the ocean absorbs gases from the atmosphere very, very slowly. If we suddenly increase the amount of carbon dioxide we produced, current models suggest that it would take 1,000 years for it to mix into seawater. And even then, there would still be a small amount left. So, over the short and medium term, we can't rely on the ocean to take up the slack for us. Okay, so that's one way nature deals with carbon dioxide. What's the other?
Plants, isn't it?
I mean, plants breathe carbon dioxide the way we breathe air.
Sure. I was actually kind of surprised that wasn't the one mentioned first. Yes, plants require carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. The more dense the growth of large plants, the more carbon dioxide is absorbed. Such an area, including forests of large, old-growth trees and also the ocean, where carbon dioxide is absorbed in large quantities, is called a carbon sink. The carbon dioxide gas is sucked in, kind of the way water is sucked down the drain in your sink after you wash the dishes. In fact, in the ocean, there are algae, seaweed, other kinds of marine plants too that rely on carbon dioxide to perform photosynthesis, just like the green plants on land. It's just that algae are far, far smaller. Now, here's something interesting. Like the ocean, green plants release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere as well as absorb it. When a plant dies, you know, if it burns in a forest fire or just dies of old age and decays, then its carbon dioxide is back in the air. So it only holds it in over its plants soak up carbon dioxide to use it, to make the energy they need to live and grow. So what they found in some regions, populated, industrialized regions, is that increased levels of carbon dioxide can stimulate plant growth. There's more of the fuel the plants need for energy, so they grow more green and dense and lush and use more of it. In other words, the amount of carbon dioxide used up by plants can increase quickly in response to the environment. Some people have suggested that we can use that natural phenomenon to help deal with increased levels of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere.
Ta-da!
What is the discussion mainly about?
Okay.
What's the problem with relying
Hang on a
oceans
second.
to
All
solve
right.
the problem of excess amounts of carbon dioxide?
Shut up, dude.
Stop him, stop him.
Stop! Shut up, crazy man. All right. Yeah, he's asking, okay, some of the questions will actually be audio questions, and you'll see them because there'll be a little symbol of headsets. Okay, so that was the recording. Did you guys make notes? I did. Hopefully, if you're making notes, of course, you're going to make notes of keywords. I also, in making notes, I also, for example, if I'm going to hear two reasons or two ways that the Earth gets or the environment gets rid of carbon dioxide, I'll use numbers. If you remember, 1, the ocean, soak it up. 2, plants, dense forest or something, photosynthesis, I wrote. So when I'm actually making notes, I put numbers to the reasons or the causes or the effects or whatever, because sometimes you'll see that in the questions. What is one reason, or what are two reasons even sometimes. So anyway, making notes, obviously you cannot concentrate on the reading and try unless you're a court reporter, I guess. Maybe if you're I wonder. It's a strange idea. Do you guys know like stenographer, court reporters? The people in court who sit there with the little machines, like, and they quickly, word for word, write the report. I wonder if they could do that on a listening test. Bizarre idea. I don't know. I just thought of that. It's weird. Well, I don't know.
What do you call them?
It's not court reporters. Are they stenographers? I think there's another word for them, but I think the job is called a stenographer. I think.
All right.
Well, actually, if you're doing it, not a court stenographer or a transcriptionist, somebody who's listening to sound and typing. But in any case, most of us don't have those skills, so we have to make notes. All right, so let's dive into some questions. Now, the first question is usually almost always going to be, is usually pretty predictable. And we did this yesterday, I know, a little repetition for those of you who were here yesterday. What is the main idea of the writing? Is almost always going to be if it's not the first question, there's certainly going to be a question about it. For those of you who were here yesterday, let me try somebody new. Roy, what do you think the main idea or the topic of the listening lecture was? Roy, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
yes.
I can hear you. What do you think was the main idea of the topic? Okay, here, hang on a second, Roy. I'm going to help you out a little bit. I'll actually screen share the question as it would appear. So I can show you that you have choices. Now, this is what it's going to look like in the TOEFL test. Something like this. You have A, B, C, D. And notice, behind the question, what is the discussion mainly about? You hear the question. Like, I let the recording play a little too long, as Russell noticed. And so we heard the first couple of audio questions. But in any case, you would actually hear the narrator say, what is the discussion mainly about? Okay. So, Roy, what do you think? Here are the choices. Can you read them? Maybe you can't. I know it's hard to read.
Letter A says a new solution for carbon dioxide pollution.
Yes.
B, types of plants used to absorb excess carbon dioxide. C, how nature controls the amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. D, 2 ways carbon dioxide is absorbed by the ocean.
Right. So, what do you think, Roy?
I think it's letter C.
Would anyone disagree with Roy on his choice of letter C? Anyone at all? And it's unanimous. Good. All right. Do you guys know the word unanimous?
Yes.
Everyone agrees. All right. Everyone agrees with this. And you know what, Roy? I do believe you're correct. All right. So if you were taking the actual TOEFL test, then you would already have one correct. All right. Why? Why are the other answers incorrect? Often, what we do is we eliminate, or we use process of elimination to eliminate incorrect answers, and we do this in both reading and listening. Mariana, are you there? Mariana, I'm gonna mute your. Hi, Mariana. I'm gonna mute your microphone because there's a little bit distracting noise. Okay. Anyway, all right. So why are some answers incorrect? Which is a strategy which I highly recommend, eliminating the wrong answers. All right. Wrong answers choices may be too specific. Okay, if you're talking about main idea, you're talking about topic. So you're not talking about details. All right, choice B talks only about plants. So one type of wrong answer is too specific. One type of wrong answer may be like A it's not mentioned at all. Okay, so this information is actually not there. A new solution for carbon dioxide, there is no new solution mentioned. So we can eliminate A. Okay, and choice D is what they call a trap answer. All right. The first part of the choice talks about two ways, and you hear a lot of twos in the actual lecture. Like I mentioned, I would number 1, 2. The choice talks about carbon dioxide, which is obviously part of the lecture, and the ocean, which is part of the lecture. But the lecture is about two ways nature absorbs carbon dioxide, not two ways the ocean does it. So it's partly too specific, and they're trying to trick you, actually, because there's some key words that we would have heard. Two ways, carbon dioxide. D is the tricky answer, which they often will do, because they're evil. Okay, so the idea that I'm trying to put across to you guys is generally you're going to eliminate answers. Now, granted, some answers are too broad, some are too specific, and some are not mentioned. Now, granted, sometimes it's gonna be quite obvious. Occasionally, the answer will be quite obvious to you. But when that happens, you have to be very careful, because it may be one of what they call a trap answer. Maybe it contains a lot of information, but maybe it's a little too specific, like talking about oceans. All right, here's our next question. Who are we going to give this one to? Andre. Are you there?
1, 2.
Andre? So again, we see the little headset, so we would hear this. I will be the narrator. What is the problem with relying on the oceans to solve the problem of excess amounts of carbon dioxide? Beep. Okay, Andre, what do you think?
I think that I lost the conversation in the.
Okay, you didn't catch this part?
Yes, I didn't.
Okay. How about that's okay. Let me try somebody else. Kevo, what do you think here?
Yeah, I would say the answer is B. Seawater takes in carbon dioxide very slowly.
Okay. And how did you come about your answer? How did you reach that conclusion?
Well, the lady in the recording mentioned that there was an issue with the oceans. They could not take in carbon dioxide as fast or efficiently as plants do. So that's why I chose that answer.
Okay, so you came to a direct answer. All right, and sometimes, as I just mentioned, sometimes going to a direct answer seems quite simple and straightforward, and your logic is simple and straightforward, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. But if you happen to miss that part, or you're a little confused, then you might want to eliminate other answers. For example, A, most sources of carbon dioxide are far away from the ocean. What? Sources of carbon dioxide? I really didn't hear that at all. They're talking about, and actually I heard of sources. They're talking about human consumption, or sorry, human respiration or animal respiration, and they were also talking about burning fossil fuels and coal. But they never put it in context of far from the ocean. They never said that. Now, actually, here's something to be careful of. It wasn't actually, it's very similar to reading. If it's not actually there, it doesn't exist. Now, we can logically assume that nobody's burning coal in the ocean and that people aren't breathing in the ocean. I think we can make that leap of logic. But nonetheless, it wasn't actually in the listening recording. So we can't choose A. It's just not there. B, yes. B, yes. The woman actually mentioned some sort of time. Actually, I forgot what time. 1,000 years or 10,000 years. I don't remember what she said, but it would take a very, very long time to absorb carbon dioxide. Certainly, it would take a long time. Make C ridiculous. The oceans have absorbed their limit. Obviously not, if it would just take time. And D, again, completely not mentioned anything about the number of marine plants. So there's nothing wrong with the logic that Kevo used. You know, he just used straightforward logic, but you may, if you're confused, also eliminate answers. And I completely agree with your answer, actually. That's exactly what I would say. All right, let's move on. Hang on. Okay, this is an important point. And again, actually very similar to reading. Be very careful because, as I just said, it has to be for TOEFL reading. It has to be in the reading passage. Listening, it has to be in the actual listening. Be very wary. Be very concerned when you read words, possible answers with words like always, never, none, nothing, impossible. These words, they will trick you, okay? Be very nervous when you see this in an answer because they're talking about absolutes, you know, 100%, and that may not be the case in the lecture or in the reading. They do a very similar thing in reading, too. So be very nervous when you see these and analyze, really take the question literally and really think, really, does it mean absolutely never? You know, think about it much more literally if you see those questions. Those are tip-offs. Those are probably trick answers, actually. So we call those extreme answers, all right? Sometimes they go to extremes using absolutes, and it's usually going to be wrong. As it says here, actually, this is interesting. Correct answers on the TOEFL are often use fairly bland language. Yeah. Mine was right. It is a boring test. Even by their own admission. This is TOEFL study text. Anyway, okay. Or sometimes they give answers that are just completely the opposite. All right, let's look at another type of question, what we call purpose question. Let's try this one. Martin. Oh, sorry, Martin's gone. Lalo, are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, there you go. Okay, your microphone was muted. All right, now this question, now notice that you do not see the little icon of the headphones here. What that means is this question is, you would be able to read it, you just have the written question. Okay, so this question, why does the professor mention that carbon dioxide is a byproduct of respiration? Okay, so you have to do a little bit of inference here. Okay, so what do you think? Do you have a good idea, or do you want to play POE, process of elimination?
Maybe is letter D, to give an example of the dangers of environment pollution.
Well, okay. A byproduct of respiration.
No, well, maybe it's letter C, to improve some background information for a discussion of carbon dioxide. is more.
Yeah, I think so, because environmental pollution, we don't think of respiration as, when I'm breathing, I'm not thinking, oh my God, I'm polluting the atmosphere.
This is
Although, when I have a nice Italian dinner with lots of garlic, I may be polluting the atmosphere. I don't know. But, and it doesn't mention smoking, which actually you are polluting the atmosphere. All right. Yeah, I think we might be able to eliminate D, actually, Lalo, and I like C a lot better. Background information, and this is going to be actually I've noticed this is quite common. This type of question, very commonly the answer is it's background information. So look at those answers carefully when you see this type of question.
Okay.
You look at B, to explain the need for more scientific writings. Scientific writings is, of course, not mentioned. I don't remember it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember her talking about scientific writings. She might have referenced it in a sort of offhand way, but I certainly did not make a note about it, or I don't even remember. And A, to emphasize the importance of carbon dioxide to life on Earth. Well, that sort of doesn't really make sense. We're getting rid of it. We're respirating it. Okay. Kevin says she mentioned research, but she didn't really say writings. That's why I was a little confused. So actually, I would agree. C is, I think C is the right answer. So yeah, eliminating B and D, dangers of environmental pollution or scientific writings. If there's new information in it, again, similar to the reading test, very much similar actually. In the listening test, new information, if it's not there, then it's not going to be a correct answer. There's no way. A and C are a little closer, but as it says here, well, their answer here is a little weird. The importance of carbon dioxide doesn't quite fit the topic either. Their explanation is a little strange on this one, but I guess I should share it since it's an actual TOEFL explanation. They say it's between A and C, and answer A talks about life on Earth, but half of the lecture is about the ocean, which is not alive. I don't know. That's a little confusing for me because there's a lot of life in the ocean. So eliminate choice A. Okay, I think that's a little weird. I like my explanation better than theirs. All right, let's move on to the next question type. All right. Okay, now I observed something when I was listening to the original recording. This, again, you see the headset. This means this would be an audio question. I'll do my narrator voice again. What did the professor call areas where carbon dioxide is absorbed in large quantities? My narrator voice. I noticed something. Now, I'm going to ask for an answer. Let's see, Russell, what's the answer?
A.
I know you know. Okay. All right. Now, I observed something. I absorbed something. Okay. I noticed something when I was listening to the transcript this time. When the professor was speaking, when she came to this part with a very specific, detailed words, when she wanted to emphasize them or highlight them in the lecture, she definitely used what we call highlighting intonation. She said them, she did a number of things. She used a higher pitch when she said them. Listen for that, because those words are probably going to come up later in the test. She also did something like this. We call this phenomena a pause, carbon sink. Pause. She paused ever so slightly before she said carbon sink, and she paused afterwards to sort of separate that phrase from the rest of her speaking. She made it very obvious that she was highlighting that specific information. I immediately wrote that down if I'm taking notes. If I hear that extra highlighted intonation, you can be about 99% sure that there's going to be a question about it later in the exam. Okay, so there's a, listen for that. If you hear that, it actually becomes quite an easy question because you would have made a note of it. Yeah, she actually called it carbon sinks, so they use slightly different terminology, but yeah, she says, okay, blah, 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 is called, yeah, okay, it gives a part of the transcript here. She said, blah, 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 blah is called a carbon sink, and she raised her voice, and then she gave an example. Furthermore, if I hear somebody use that intonation and then they give me an example, now I'm 100% sure that's coming up later in the test. Okay, here we go. All right, now our old favorites, hooray, hooray, inference questions. Hang on, let me screen share here. All right, inference. You have to infer a question. Oh, by the way, hi, Anastasia. Multi-chatter. Hello. Okay, let me screen share this. Okay, the text above, okay, would not be shown. All right, this is just as an example. You see the headset. This would be audio question. So as you see noted, the text above will not be shown on the screen. You hear audio only. Sometimes in the test, they will repeat a little part of the lecture, conversation, or whatever the listening is, a small section, so that you can answer a question about it. For example, here. So you would again hear this part of the lecture. And no, I am not. I will read it, but I am not going to do the female lecturer's voice. Okay. You would hear this again. I think writing for the general public about science is a real service, but, well, it's not nice to say, but I wish some of these people would verify things with real scientists more often. They'd save themselves some embarrassment. Actually, that wasn't even in the original, was it?
Yes, it was.
It was? I have no memory of that. I blanked that one out. Okay, it is important to hear or listen for the professor's opinion or how they feel. What is their emotional state? What do you actually, before we even look at possible answers, what do you think what is the professor's opinion or emotional state? Emotional state. What do you think? What do you think? Yeah, go ahead, Kevo.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think she's being critical and skeptical. And,
good word. Skeptical.
Skeptical. That's fine. It might be a little biased. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. I like it. She's a little. I think so too. She's a little bit skeptical. She's a little bit sarcastic. Yeah, they'd save themselves some embarrassment. I agree. A little skeptical and sarcastic about general public writing about science. All right, I agree with you. So, the question is, remember, what did the professor mean by that? All right, so what do you think here? Actually, let me talk to Roy again. Roy, what do you think the professor meant by that? Can you read it?
I think it's letter B.
what was that horn? Okay. Letter B. Some popular writing about science is inaccurate. Yeah, I would tend to agree. I think it's fairly easy. For me, this is a pretty easy question, actually, because we just listened to it just now, and we can so quickly eliminate A. She's asked to write articles. She says nothing about that. C. Students should not be embarrassed. That's not what she said. She said that normal general public are often embarrassed by things they write. And the last one, more writers are becoming interested in the topic of pollution. It's just not said at all. So it's very easy to eliminate answers here. I agree with you, Roy. I think it's without a question, very simply answer B. All right, so that's another type of question. Let's move on. Again, very similar here. You would, another audio question, you might hear soluble. I don't have to explain that one to you because the root's related to the word dissolve, right? Do you guys, do you know what that kind of question is called? Are you familiar with the terminology for this type of question? By the way, actually, there's a couple terms I could use.
Vocabulary, I think.
Well, it's two things. It's called a tag question. Okay, it's a nice day, isn't it? That's a tag. You make a statement, and then you use the negative question at the end. It's a nice day, isn't it? Now, tag questions
like rhetoric.
Yes, and it's also in this case a rhetorical question. Often a rhetorical question will have a different intonation. You understand that, don't you? Don't you? Rise, falling intonation. That means I'm making it a rhetorical question, and I don't really expect you to answer. A rhetorical question doesn't really demand an answer. You're really just saying it to introduce an idea. You know, a tag question for example, just a side lesson here, but this is important. A tag question can have change meaning depending on intonation. For example, if I say, "It's going to rain, isn't it?" It means that my pitch falls at the end on the tag. This means that as the speaker, I am sure that it's going to rain. Maybe I'm looking for confirmation from you. This is, and maybe not. Maybe I don't even care. Maybe it's rhetorical. It's going to rain, isn't it? You might answer, "Yeah, looks like it." Or you may not even answer at all. Sometimes this kind of a tag question doesn't even need an answer. If I changed my pitch at the end, "It's going to rain, isn't it? Isn't it?" If I rise, that means it's a real question. Now that is a real question. So it's important to know the difference, especially, you know, in regards to TOEFL, because very many of these lectures, you're going to hear a tag question used as a rhetorical question. It doesn't need an answer. It's just sort of a confirmation. But you may also hear tag questions in the conversation. You will also listen to conversations and answer questions about that. And sometimes the conversations will have tag questions. And in that case, you have to be a little more careful about listening for that pitch change to realize if it's really a question or if it's just looking for confirmation. All right. Side note there, but tag questions, it's kind of important to know a little bit about that. Okay, so in this case, anyway, it's really a rhetorical question here. So, okay, Kevin, I have to address this. Kevin, I have to. Kevin is in the chat box. He's saying something here. I hear those questions a lot here. We don't have those in French, I don't think. I don't know about that because when I have spoken to French people or French Canadians, a lot of times they will use a different sort of tag question. They will say, it will rain today. No? They will say no at the end. I've definitely heard that before. Yeah. So I don't know. Sometimes I hear that. Do you know what I mean? No?
Yeah, and in Spanish it's the same. You do the question, and after that you say no.
Well, that's very similar to a tag question. In fact, I would go so far as to
actually,
say.
most of the language you use no.
Yeah, well, it serves the same function. You're looking for confirmation, right? Okay, actually, I'm very interested in this. Tell me, guys, time to teach the teacher. When you use that function in French or Spanish, are you really looking for confirmation, or is it rhetorical? Or perhaps it could be either, depending on situation. Do you know what I mean?
I think I use this kind of questions when I know that something is a fact. For example, if I know that two of my friends are dating, I can say they are dating, don't they? It's something when you know that something is a fact.
Okay, but we would say they're dating, aren't they? That's a weird one because you're using are they not, and you're doing the conjunction. That's a slightly strange one, but they date each other, don't they? They are dating, aren't they? Okay, a little bit strange, but yeah. Russell says when he uses it in Urdu, it's just a simple yes or no. And that's my point that I was making. That's what I've heard as well. Sometimes. I used to live very close to Montreal, so I was in Montreal speaking with French speakers a lot. And they always, or then, really, Canadians, they always say, eh? It's going to rain, eh? It's a nice day, eh? Montreal's a very lovely city, eh? And I'm not making fun of my Canadian friends. I love Canada. It's a wonderful country. Wonderful people. Please, any Canadians out there, don't be angry with me. I love Canada. Really, I do. Okay. Anyway, before I get myself in further trouble. Okay. All right. So let me read this again and we'll look at the question. All right. Soluble, I don't have to explain that one to you because the root's related to the word dissolve, right? Okay, what, and the question now is, and let me share, what did the professor imply? What is she implying? What do you think, Andoni? Oh. Can you read this? Can you see it okay?
Yes, I can see it.
Okay.
But I didn't understand the question.
Okay, what would happen in the TOEFL test? You would actually hear an audio. You would hear the narrator would say, okay, well, actually, no, you would see these instructions. Listen again to this part of the discussion, then answer the question. And you see the little headset here, so that means it's an audio question. You would actually hear this question on the TOEFL test. You would hear someone say, the professor, soluble, I don't have to explain that one to you because the root's related to the word dissolve, right? And what you see on the screen, as it says here, the text above would not show on the screen. You'd only hear the audio. And then you'd see, what did the professor imply? So what does that audio imply? Imply meaning she's not saying it, but she's saying it. How do you explain imply?
I think the option B, I don't know. She has previously explained the meaning of the word.
Really? Okay. All right, let's do some POE here for a second. All right, process of elimination. Let's look at this a little more carefully. because there's a couple confusing answers here. All right, let's look at A. She is not sure about the origin of the word. Well, what do you think of that? Do you think we can... Yeah, go ahead.
I think it is not the correct answer.
Yeah, it is. I think that one is easy to eliminate because it's the opposite. She's obvious. Not only is she sure, she's sure the students know. Okay. Yeah. Oh.
Yes. So the correct option is C. Students will understand the meaning of the term.
Yeah. Okay. I gave it away, didn't I? When I rephrased the professor's statement in my own words, I made the answer obvious, right? Actually, I didn't mean to do that. That was completely an accident. But you know what? That's actually a good tactic or strategy. Sometimes if we rephrase information, particularly if we're confused about possible answers, sometimes suddenly it just clicks. Oh, now it's obvious. When I rephrase what is said, it becomes quite easy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And Kevin makes a point. She seems a little condescending when she says it. Yeah, she does. She's saying it like, "Oh, you obviously know this," which is condescending. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Okay, we might have time for one more example. Da-da-da-da. Multiple choice. That's redundantly redundant. Anyway, goofy, TOEFL. All right, let's look at the last one. We only got 2 or 3 minutes. And again, this would be audio. How are plants different from the oceans in the way they absorb carbon dioxide? Okay, now in this case, notice you're going to be clicking on 2 answers. Russell, actually, I don't remember. Would this be worth 2 points?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so this one is worth more. This one would most likely be worth 2 points. Okay, so what do you think, Russell? I'll give this one to you.
Yeah, I can think of one answer, C.
Plants immediately use what they absorb. Right, they're talked about... yeah, how are plants different? They use what they absorb. Yeah, because the plants build their own structure or whatever. The carbon grows.
I'm not sure about others.
Okay, well, let's look at them. Plants never release carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. Well,
No, that was not
opposite
option.
Opposite meaning.
Yep.
Opposite information. Totally contradictory. All right, so we can get rid of A. I agree with C, so we're looking for one more. B, the rate of absorption by plants can increase rapidly. Wait a minute.
I don't think so.
You don't? Well, there was something.
Because she said that it's very slow.
No, the ocean is low. The plants are high.
Yeah, the ocean takes 1,000 years.
Yeah, sorry. It was ocean which was slow.
Right. The ocean's like 1,000 years, and plants... I remember her talking about how old growth forests and how the more plants they are, the more they can increase absorption. So I kind of like B, but I'm not completely sold. But D, plants do not convert carbon dioxide into other chemicals. Wait a minute. That's do not convert. Wait a second. That makes no sense. Don't they convert carbon dioxide into oxygen? Didn't she mention that? Yes? So that would mean that's the opposite.
It's not the option.
Okay, so D, I can eliminate D. So that leaves me with B and C. Okay, and that leaves me with saying, goodbye, my students, goodbye. It's time. It's time for me to go figure out what my wife has cooked for lunch. I am starving. Thank you very much. Hopefully, we've learned a few things today about the TOEFL, not IELTS, TOEFL listening test. Okay, thanks a lot, guys. I gotta go. Yeah, IELTS later.
After 7 hours.
Yeah, exactly. 7 hours will be IELTS. All right. I forget what time of day it is. All right. Bye, guys. Thanks a lot. Take care.